Alright guys, a little bit of a different video today. This is more so like a PSA for coming up of Edge of Fate. So a little bit of a little trick. So from another content creator, found out that Ascension acts as a sword. So when you pull out your sword and use the Ascension, it actually will just like operate and use sword perks essentially. And then you can also make orbs with Ascension if you're matching your search. If you're matching your search stipend, you can actually make orbs. You can actually make orbs with the sword. Okay, I'll do it right here. And also, pay attention to this trait. So that is light final blows. When I have a light final blow or a light super, and I get final blows, it gives me my nade back. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get my nade and get rid of it. Okay. And then watch. Hold on. Let me get rid of it. Let me actually just get time. I know. Get rid of it. Watch the nade. See that? Giant chunk. A giant chunk, and then also I'm making an orb. Every time I kill 2 ads with this, I'm making an orb. So I killed 2 ads. There's an orb. And it's not Reaper, because I tested with Reaper off. And then my sword does have attrition herb, but it is not attrition herb. Because I've taken the siphon off and it didn't give me an herb. But likely next season the attrition herb will work because they're actually fixing the progression on other weapons. Unfortunately nerfing the area denials, but luckily buffing it on every other archetype, including swords. And there actually is going to be 2 wayframes next season that have attrition herb, and like one that has eager and attrition in different slots. So that's probably going to be like what to go for certain like harder content or endgame content where you wouldn't be skating and you might just be using this. So just a little PSA on the fact that swords can just make you orbs. And then also, this one in specific, the Fallen Guillotine, with this Origin trait, can actually make you, can actually get you grenade energy. So, just little tips, and then, yeah, that's basically it. Oh, and then also, like, synergy mods work. It's like, if you were to be doing, like, an Ascension with, like, a synergy mod on, like, a Stasis Sword, for example, you get Stasis Shows. And then I'll go ahead and link the video to the other creator who made the original video. This is just like off of his, but he didn't really expand upon like the fact that you can make orbs actually with the sword. You can make orbs, or you could like take advantage of this orb trait in specific, which is going to be very strong on Hunter because since grapples are getting a giant buff, you'll mainly want to be just like spamming grapples like hard content. So this will be like the way you could do it. And then instead of like grapple canceling per se on like a Sword Arachne build, you would just like use the grapple. Because you get it back so fast. Like, let me make sure I don't pick up any. Let me use it again. But yeah, basically, that's just it. It's pretty insane. I mean, the regen is already insane with the Sword Arachne class item. With like Inmos, like Emo cert. But even then, like, it's still pretty insane. There's another chunk. So it's like, it's giving me about like 20% of my grapple per Ascension, which is obviously very good. Obviously very good. And then like I said, because Ascension's getting changed to have Reaper like procking, Reaper will proc, Powerful Attraction will proc. I'm guessing these orbs will probably be grabbed like mid-Ascension. If not, it doesn't really matter, and it's still very good. But this is obviously very unique, and I don't really think I've heard anybody speak of this. So it's obviously quite new. And then this also builds your light meter even more. Like I've done it with a Stasis Sword, it'll build your Stasis meter more when you have a Stasis Sword on. So like if you were using Slammer with this, I've actually had my darkness meter go up when I'm using Slammer. So I'll do an Ascension with Slammer and my Darkness meter goes up because I have Cold Steel on it. And then on top of it just giving me more because it's got Cold Steel, it's just giving me some because I have Battle Stasis, which is obviously great. It's like I can actually show you guys that right now. So I have an Ascension, right? See, I have 0 Darkness energy. Pull my sword out. Look at this. Look at my energy. That's an Ascension. And I just got Darkness energy. And that's not even a small amount. That's a pretty significant amount. That's about a 1/6 of the Transcendence meter before I did the melee. And then I'll do it again. That one didn't give quite too much because I might have been in the air, like too high above them for them to get hit by the Cold Steel. But nonetheless, it works very well. And then like if I were to put this on, this. Oh, it also works with this. Like Repulsor D-Stave actually does proc. Sometimes. It depends. It probably will not proc in like any higher end content because it won't. The Repulsor won't end up killing any ads. But if you manage to like get your Ascension back like fast enough, you might be able to proc it twice. Okay. But yeah, there we go. So it gave me like a little bit more light energy than I normally would expect. And the way you can tell that it's giving you more, like on like light objects per se, because it's like matching the thing. It was exactly matching like the, they're both light. It's like if I was using a Void Sword and I did this, the way you can tell it's giving you more is you'll actually see a giant, like you'll see a chunk after the initial. So the way Ascension works basically with Transcendence gain is it's only going to give you the small chunk. And then it shouldn't give you any after. But the way you can tell that this is like actually doing something and it's also hitting for blood damage is because you see another chunk after. That's why like the orb creation is so delayed as well. Because normal weapons like this, like do it immediately. If you were to do an Ascension though, it's not immediate. It's very slow. So that's like where like that chunk comes in basically. Is it's like basically exactly in line with that like it'll chunk eventually. And it's like slightly after because like this is probably not intended interaction, but it's the way it started. I do hope it does not go away. In Edge of Fate, there's a possibility this may go away due to the fact that they're changing this to work with like all other like subclass verbs, like armor mods. Because it's working with like Reaper, extra powerful attraction. Anything you would want a class ability to do, it's working with now. Come Edge of Fate, so this may not work come Edge of Fate, any of the sword tech, but if it still does, it's obviously going to be very good. But that's the video. That's basically it. There's no other new tech really with this, but just a little PSA that this does work, and it's something you can